Chapter 37. Matt's cell phone rang as he turned onto his street. A glance at the screen showed Kat's name. He swiped to answer, putting it on speaker. "We picked something up on the cameras we installed. I have a name and address for you," Kat said. "That was fast," Matt said. "Your lady showed up an hour after we installed the camera. White Ford Focus. She parked 2 houses down and just sat there watching the place. When Hera left to run errands, the woman followed her to 3 different locations and then back home." "A woman?" Matt's interest peaked. "Let's have the information." "Molly Richter, 42nd. Address is 1874 Oakwood Drive, apartment 3C. No criminal record, not even a parking ticket." There was a rustling of papers on Kat's end. "Works as an administrative assistant at First Baptist Church." "I'm coming with you," Kat added before he could respond. "I can handle an interview with the church secretary," Matt said. "If she's involved in these killings, which I don't believe she is, I don't want you walking in there alone," Kat persisted. Her tone suggested this wasn't negotiable. Matt frowned. "Why isn't she involved?" "I'm not buying a woman on this, Matt. Not with the way those boys were killed and staged. The strength required, the planning, the sheer brutality of it." "Women are perfectly capable of murder," Matt countered. "You know that better than most." "Sure, but not like this. You saw the bodies, the staging. This has male rage written all over it." Matt considered arguing further, but decided against it. He'd learned to pick his battles with Kat. "I can be there in 30 minutes, he said instead. "Fine," she replied. "I'll meet you out front." Molly Richter answered. She was a thin woman with mouse-brown hair, wire-rimmed glasses, and a cardigan buttoned all the way up despite the warm weather. "Molly Richter?" Kat asked as she held up her credentials. "I'm Special Agent Kathleen Barry with the FBI, and this is my colleague, Special Agent Matt Barry with the Texas Bureau of Investigation." Richter's eyes darted between them. Her hands moved nervously to her throat, fingertips touching a small gold cross hanging from a delicate chain. "May we come in?" Kat asked, though she was already stepping forward, not waiting for an answer. It was a technique Matt had seen her use before: assume compliance rather than ask permission. It worked surprisingly often. Matt followed his sister into the apartment, noting Richter's growing distress. The woman's face had blanched, her breathing quickening visibly. "What's this about?" Richter asked. Kat ignored the question. "Is there some place we can sit down?" The apartment was small. Religious artwork hung on the walls. A well-worn Bible sat on the coffee table beside a half-empty cup of tea. "Yes, of course, please." Once they were seated, Kat wasted no time. She reached into her jacket and pulled out a photograph, sliding it across the coffee table. "Tell me about this picture," she said. The image showed Molly Richter sitting in her white Ford Focus, clearly photographed through the driver's side window as she watched Hera's house. The surveillance camera they'd installed had done its job well. Ms. Richter went white, her mouth opening and closing several times before any words emerged. I was helping a friend," she managed finally. "I didn't mean any harm." "Stop crying and tell me about this picture," Kat demanded. "It's Andrew Compton," she said. "Am I in trouble?" "What about Andrew?" Matt asked. "He's under the spell of that evil witch, Hera. Do you know about her? She calls herself Goddess Hera and demands her followers worship her as a goddess. It's blasphemous." Ms. Richter's face transformed as she spoke, tears giving way to a flush of righteous indignation. She looked between Matt and Kat as if expecting them to share her outrage. "And this concerns you because," Matt prompted. Richter straightened in her chair. "Because we cannot stand idly by while the young are led astray. Andrew was a good Christian boy before she got her claws into him. Now he bows to her, calls her goddess. His mother found texts on his phone where he pledged himself to Hera." Her voice grew more agitated. "Can you imagine? In this day and age? It's paganism." "Why are you spying on her?" Kat asked. "His mother asked me to help. She's beside herself with worry. She was afraid to do it herself, afraid he might recognize her car. So she asked me to help." Matt exchanged a glance with Kat. This was starting to make sense. "Why did you make the phone call?" Matt asked. "I didn't." "Don't lie," Kat interrupted. "We have proof it was you." Richter's shoulders slumped, the fight draining out of her. She removed her glasses and wiped her eyes with a tissue pulled from her cardigan pocket. I, I thought if she were frightened, she might release Andrew. Kat stood. Give us a minute. Matt followed his sister to the kitchenette area, just far enough away to speak privately while keeping Richter in view. Richter remained seated, head bowed, hands clasped in her lap, as if in prayer. What do you want to do? Kat asked quietly. Send them both for polygraphs, Matt suggested. Both? Yes. Andrew's mother as well. Kat nodded. Makes sense. They returned to the couch. Kat explained the polygraph. In her usual fashion, she didn't ask Miss Richter if she'd consent to the examination. Instead, she told her when and where to meet the examiner. I don't understand, Richter said. Am I being charged with something? Not at this time, Kat replied. But you did make a threatening phone call, which could constitute harassment. The polygraph will help us determine if you're being truthful about your involvement, or lack thereof, in other matters. Other matters? What other matters? Matt leaned forward. Ms. Richter, we're investigating several homicides that may be connected to Vista Ridge High School. We need to eliminate you as a person of interest. Homicides? The word came out as a horrified whisper. You think I... She shook her head vigorously. No, I would never. I just wanted to scare her, to make her stop this blasphemy. Then you have nothing to worry about, Kat said, rising from the couch. The polygraph will confirm that. Tomorrow 9 a.m. at the Vista Ridge Police Department, and we'll need contact information for Andrew's mother. She'll need to be there as well. Richter nodded, still looking stunned. Of course, I'll give you her number. She fumbled for her phone, her hands shaking slightly. I just wanted to help Andrew. I never meant, I wouldn't. She seemed unable to complete the thought. Matt pulled into the circular driveway of Caitlin's lakeside mansion. White Rock Lake stretched out beyond the property. Matt killed the engine and grabbed his laptop bag from the passenger seat. The house was silent. Matt made his way to the guest suite that served as his temporary quarters. He felt restless, his mind churning with the details of the case. He set his laptop on the desk, unbuttoned his collar, loosened his tie, rolled up his sleeves, and booted up the computer. Sleep could wait. The urge to follow this new thread was too strong to ignore. Penny had texted earlier that she'd be at Joe's place for dinner. Bree often worked long hours, and Penny had quickly formed a friendship with her, pitching in with the kids when Bree wasn't around. Matt pushed thoughts of Jen aside. He had work to do. Opening his secure connection to the Texas DMV database, Matt entered his credentials and began running the license plate numbers Eccleston had provided. 20 vehicles. 20 random hits from automatic license plate readers scattered throughout Vista Ridge during the time windows surrounding each murder. It was a shot in the dark, but sometimes that's all you had in a case like this. An hour passed. He'd run all 20 plates, compiling the information in a spreadsheet. Now came the process of elimination. He filtered the results by vehicle color and make, zeroing in on white Toyotas. 5 vehicles matched. He narrowed further by model, Camry, and then by year, eliminating any older than 2011. 3 names remained. Matt scanned the list and one jumped out at him. Kelly Worth. The name stirred something in his memory. Then it clicked. He had talked to Harold Worth at Vista Ridge High School. Harold Worth, the overweight, awkward kid who didn't fit in. The one Principal Fogg had mentioned. The one who claimed to be a closet worshiper of Hera. Matt shifted to another database and ran a search on Harold Worth. Harold Worth, 18, resided at the same address as Kelly Worth, the owner of a 2011 white Toyota Camry. Based on the age difference, Matt guessed they were mother and son. He turned back to Eccleston's map, studying the time and location where the Worth vehicle had been scanned. 3 a.m. on the morning before Raymond Merrick's body was discovered. The location didn't match perfectly. The car had been picked up miles away in far northwest Vista Ridge, while Merrick was found on the east side. Still, the timing felt significant. Matt leaned back in his chair, letting the connections form in his mind. Harold Worth, a mother with a matching vehicle, a late-night drive during the critical window. It wasn't enough for an arrest, not nearly, but it was the first real lead that had felt right in his gut since the case began. He pulled out his phone and scrolled through his contacts until he found Hera's number. "Special Agent Barry," she said. "How nice to hear from you. What can I do for you?" "Harold Worth," Matt said. "What can you tell me about him?" There was a brief pause before Hera replied. "Harold? He's confused, like so many of the others. He's a closet worshiper, terrified his mother will discover him. He's okay, a bit weird, but he's a high school student, and we're all weird in our own ways." "What about his mother?" "I don't know her personally," Hera said. "Only what I hear from Harold. According to him, she's very strict. Religious, I think. Not the understanding type." "What about his father?" Matt asked, his eyes scanning his earlier search results. He hadn't found another licensed driver at the Worth address. "He committed suicide." Matt stopped writing. "When? What happened?" "Last year sometime. I don't know the details. I hear he shot himself in his garage. His wife found him. Harold doesn't talk about it much, and I don't ask." Matt made a note to pull the police report on the suicide. "How does Harold fit in at school?" "He's one of those guys that doesn't have a lot of friends," she said. "Keeps to himself mostly." "Any problem with the gods?" Matt asked. "Do you mean was Harold having problems with them?" "Yes." Hera hesitated. "A couple years ago, there might have been a problem, back when the lawsuit was happening." "What lawsuit?" "Harold's father sued Raymond's father and some others over a business deal," Hera explained. "You know how kids are. They gave Harold a hard time. Called him names, pulled pranks. Seuss was the worst. I tried to get them to stop." She trailed off. "Do you know what the lawsuit was about?" Matt pressed. "Not really. Business stuff. Harold mentioned it once. Something about his dad being forced out of a partnership. He was bitter about it. Said his dad lost everything." "Was Ed Black involved? Or his father?" Matt asked, already making connections. "I think so," Hera said. "Harold blamed all of them. The gods, their fathers. He said they ruined his family." Matt's pulse quickened. "When was the last time you saw Harold?" "School yesterday," Hera replied. "Did he seem unusual? Agitated?" "No more than usual." Hera paused. "Why are you asking about Harold?" "I'm just gathering information." "Harold wouldn't hurt anyone," Hera said. "One more thing," Matt said. "Does Harold have any connection to Becky Johnson?" "The girl who was killed?" Hera asked. "I don't know. They were in different circles." They talked for another 15 minutes with Matt extracting every detail he could about Harold Worth, his habits, his relationships, his psychological state as Hera understood it. By the time he ended the call, Matt felt the familiar surge of adrenaline that came with a breakthrough. He stared at his notes, the pieces starting to align in a way they hadn't before. The gods, the lawsuit between the fathers, the suicide, the white Toyota, the timing. Detectives often talked about the aha moment where everything suddenly comes together, where the scattered pieces of the puzzle snap into place to reveal the full picture. Matt knew he wasn't quite there yet. He needed more pieces, more evidence, more connections. But for the first time since the case began, he felt he had the scent.